As a pastor's wife and a mom to 2 small children, this is why you should go to church. Growing up, church was not an option for us. We had to go to church every single Sunday and throughout the week for prayer nights as well. The only time that I didn't go to church was when I was sick or we were out of town. Back then, I didn't quite understand why my parents put such a focus on church. But now being a mom myself of 2 boys, 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, now I understand why my parents put such a focus on going to church. When my now 3-year-old was just 8 weeks old, my husband and I decided that it was best for my husband to go to the States for 2 months and work, and I would stay back in Romania with my 2-year-old and my then 8-week-old. Although it was challenging to be with such small kids by myself, I'd set in my head that I'd be going to church every time it was open, so that meant during the weekdays for prayer and every Sunday morning and every Sunday evening. And what I learned then I'd love to share with you now. Number 1, church community is really important. Sometimes motherhood can be quite lonely, especially if it's your first baby and you're not really sure what you're doing and if you're doing it right. So whether you find yourself that you're mostly in the baby room by yourself with 2 small kids or just with your baby, chances are there's another young mom there that's also going through the same things that you are. And talking to her and opening up with her can encourage her and she can encourage you as well, thus creating friendships and a network of support. The second thing is your children will get used to going to church. I remember when my kids were small, a lot smaller than they are now, I had some bad experiences where I went to church and there'd be people that were telling me my kids were too noisy or my kids were behaving badly. And as much as that put me off on wanting to go to church, I just kept telling myself, this is just a stage. They're going to get through it. They're going to get through this. They're going to learn to behave in church. And that's exactly what happened. And some Sundays are better than others. There'd be times when I'd be on my way home and just feeling guilty that my children weren't behaving, they weren't paying attention, they were misbehaving. And then there'd be some Sundays where on my way home I'd hear my 5-year-old singing the songs that we sing in worship or telling me that he saw a vision of an angel during church. So it's important to give yourself some grace. The third thing that I learned, and probably the most important, is church is needed for your own spiritual growth. And no, it's not the same like sitting home and watching online. Being in an actual church service is so much different. As we look in the book of Acts, the first church, they were all united in one mind and in one accord, in one spirit. When you're physically at church, it's different. You're more united with the people around you. You feel what they're feeling, and you see the Lord working. Whether it's through one song in the worship or half the sermon that you got to listen to, the Lord is speaking and you are there ready to listen. So mama, I know it's not easy. There are seasons and seasons, but get yourself ready, get your children ready, and go to church.